guys. Today we're going to be looking at a little bit of test practice. One of the things I usually hear about the test, when you take the test, I usually ask you what you thought of the test. And one of the things that a lot of people say is that they don't have time to finish the test. There's a lot of questions and you only have a certain amount of time to take it. So I want us to learn a few strategies to help us take the test a little bit faster and be able to read a little bit more strategically. So you don't always have to read the entire text of a question. So today we're going to be talking about scanning and how to use scanning when you have to take the test again. So let me share my screen with you and take a look at an example of what you're going to be working on. There we go. All right. Let me turn on my highlighter so you can see. Oh, that's hard to see now. Can you see that? Okay. So here we have a course description. So we know that it is describing a course that you could take at a school. Now, there's a lot of reading in this. And when you're reading something this long, it's very easy to get lost in the information or to not hear it properly, or to not remember it properly. So when you're reading, especially in a second language, it's hard to hold on to that information. So I want us to practice scanning so that you're not having to read all that information and you can just focus on the important parts of the reading. So let's take a look. Scanning means you're quickly reading for information. You're not reading every word, you're just looking at the words and finding important information. So look, let's take a look at what you would read. So you would read the title. So what is the title of this? Okay, it would be course description or certified nursing assistant, basic healthcare. So the name of the course and the title of what it is. Then you would read the headings or small titles within. So here we have 4 headings where it says course meets. So talking about the schedule. Prerequisites. What does pre mean? Good, it means before. So a prerequisite means these are the classes that you are required to take before this course. Then we have course duration, or how long the course is. And then course begins, so the start date of the course. So those are our headings and our title. So we have an idea of what the reading is about. Then the last one says important words. And these important words are going to come from the questions. So before you even start reading all of this information, you have to read the question first so that you know what information you're looking for. You don't need all of that information to answer the questions. So let's take a look at what information does the question need, and that is what you're looking for in the reading. So number 1, what do students have to do before taking this course? So what are some important words to understand the question? What are some important words in the question? Okay. For me, looking at that, before is a really important word. You're looking for what they have to do before taking the course. So based on what you've read in the title and the headings, are there any headings that talk about what students do before the course? Yes, we talked about prerequisites. So this might be a vocabulary word that you need to write down. Pre means before. This here looks like the word require or requirement. So prerequisites are things you have to take, classes you have to take before you can take a course. So we see there are two prerequisites, first aid and CPR. So those are two classes or two courses that students have to take before taking this course. So we see this. We see that these are things that students have to do before taking the course. So then we look at our answers. A says complete a work placement in a hospital. B, complete 2 other courses. C, know about patient rights. Or D, train as a CNA. Okay, so the answer would be B. B, complete 2 other courses. So the prerequisites are first aid and CPR. Good. So B. So we did not have to read all of this. We just read the title, the headings, and based on a little bit of vocabulary work, we were able to focus on this important word in the question so that we only had to read this little bit. You were able to focus on it and take the time you needed to break down this word, and you didn't take all the time to read all of this. Now, sometimes the information won't be found just in a heading. Sometimes the information will be in the paragraphs, but you still don't have to read the whole paragraphs. So let's take a look at number 2. Let me move this. Well, right there. Number 2 says, why should students find a work placement as soon as they can? Why should students find a work placement as soon as they can? So, what are some important words in the question? Probably work placement. So we need to know information about their work placement. And then as soon as. So both of these talk about time. They're giving you a time frame. So as soon as is a specific time word. So looking for that might be helpful as we're scanning the paragraphs. So if we come over here and look in this description, there's a lot of information. So we are just scanning for these important words. So as we scan, we see work placements. So it says students will complete workplaces at a local hospital. Okay, now we understand what work placements are. They are something where you work at a local hospital. You receive on-the-job training. So they're working at a hospital, kind of like an internship. Then we scan a little bit more. We see this is talking about work placements. We see placements. And in this sentence, we also see as soon as possible. So in this sentence, we see both of our important words. We see placements and as soon as possible. So as soon as soon as. So let's read this sentence. It says placements are on a first-come basis. So candidates should apply to hospitals in their area as soon as possible. What does first-come basis mean? This might be a new phrase for you. A first-come basis means that the first person who gets there, the first person who applies, gets the position. So if there are 6 people who want this placement and there is only one placement, the first person who gets there is going to get the placement. So the placements are on a first-come basis, so the candidates need to apply quickly. They need to apply as soon as possible. So A says because students need on-the-job training. B, because work placements are on a first-come basis. C, because enrollment in basic health care is on a first-come basis. Because students should apply at local hospitals as soon as possible. So, we are looking for the reason why they should apply as soon as possible. So, D just tells us they need to apply as soon as possible, but it doesn't tell us the reason. It just tells us what they need to do. So it's not D. Then we see these two both talk about the first-come basis. B says work placements are on a first-come basis. Placements are on a first-come basis. C says basic health care is on a first-come basis. That is not correct. That is the name of the course. So it's not C. So the answer would be B. B, because work placements are on a first-come basis. So placements are on a first-come basis, so candidates should apply to the hospital in their area as soon as possible. When you see so, what comes before it is a reason. That is the reason for the second part. So for example, if I say, I did not have electricity today, so we did not have online class. We did not have online class, and the reason for that is because I did not have electricity. So here, we know that what comes before so is the reason. So the answer is B. Work placements are on a first-come basis. So the test itself is still taking time. It still takes some mental energy and time for you to think about some vocabulary. But by narrowing it down, by scanning for important words, now we're able to focus on just this part. Focus on just this part. So, sorry guys. So instead of reading all of this information, we're just reading the important information. We're just reading what we have to read to answer the question. All right, guys, for homework, you are going to be doing a little bit of this practice. So I'm going to send you some questions. And in those questions, I want you to underline the important words and then scan the reading and underline where you see those words in the reading. So underline where you're finding the answers to those questions. All right, we are going to continue talking about this and continue practicing. So try it for homework, and then when we get into the classroom on Wednesday, we'll do a little bit more work with it. All right, guys, you all have a good day. I will see you soon. All right, bye, guys.